Yo, how's it, guys? Welcome back to another podcast and good Friday and good morning to whoever's listening to this in the morning. Good afternoon, who's ever listening to this in the afternoon, and good evening to whoever's listening to this in the evening. All right. So on Fridays, it's Family Fridays. So what George and I have noticed is that we haven't told you guys much about ourselves. I don't think you guys actually really know anything about George and I, except for that we're cousins. So we're gonna give a brief description on who we are and how we ended up at this point in our lives. And yeah, and the floor is now George.
How's it, guys? So, as you might know or might not know, I'm George. I'm 20 years old and I am living in the UK right now. But I will give you a bit of a brief background story to like how I'm here and why me and Dale have decided to do a podcast and start our podcasts. So I grew up most of my life in Africa, um, and moving around. I was in Zambia, Kenya most of my life, and a bit in South Africa. And then in 2015, as a family, we decided to come back to the UK for high school. Me and my twin brother started high school here. And we joined in year 10, finished, got our GCSEs in year 11. And I decided then I wanted to head back to Africa, where my dad was working in Mozambique on a farm, where I got some work experience. And yeah, then from there, I basically traveled around Southern Africa for a bit, volunteering. I volunteered in Zim. I volunteered in South Africa for a bit. And then I decided to come back to the UK, where then I I kind of stayed here and I didn't do too much. And then I decided, okay, look, I'm gonna go back to Africa and get a guide and ranging course, which was in Zim, which was a 3 month course.
And was that an AP?
Where that was in a place called Gweru, where I stayed was called Antelope Park, where I actually did part of the course was Antelope Park, but we kind of traveled around a lot of Zim during the course. And then after that, I decided to come back here and I was going to start studying back in the UK. But then obviously 2019, end of 2019, COVID hit. So, life wasn't the same. I kind of I got myself into a rut. I lost motivation with a lot of things. So yeah, and then at the end of October, I decided, okay, I'm going to go to Kenya and see what I can find there, if I can get any work down in Kenya. And I was there for a few months, got back here beginning of 2021. And yeah, nothing really had happened for me much in Kenya. So, and when I got back here, nothing really has happened. So I'd said, me and Dale spoke to each other and decided, look, what can we do that might benefit us in the future and benefit us right now? And that's when we came up with the idea to start a podcast and see what it brings. So yeah, that's a bit about, that's a brief explanation about myself and why we have decided to do this podcast. So yeah, I will hand it back over to you, Dale.
Yeah, so I'm Dale and I'm 20 also. I'm just a month and a half younger than George and his twin brother Liam. And I've was born and raised in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm a Joburg Boot. And I went to a primary school down the road from my house, and uh, I wasn't really the academic person. I was more of the sporty person at school, and I only just really focused on sports and just having fun. And when it got to high school, I just stopped really caring much and just did my own thing, even though like I still played sport and all that. Um, but after I matriculated, I didn't really want to go study. I was like, I've done this for 12 years of my life. I've never liked it. So I'm just gonna head overseas. So we went away on holiday, my family and myself, and I stayed in the UK when my family came back, and I started doing work with my uncle and aunt on their house, learning different trades. And I came back. I was there for a month, and then I came back in February, um, so I could redo my visa, so I could stay in the UK for a longer period of time. Uh, and I left end of February and started working then right about like two weeks after I landed there. So right after my self-isolation, the whole country just got shut down, and we didn't really know what was going to happen. Like everyone else in the world, they didn't even know what was going on. But luckily for me, I was constantly busy with the work, and we could do the work. I know most people couldn't do much due to the pandemic, and they still can't do much due to this pandemic. But I was really lucky. I got to do work. I got to get some experience with different trades, and I was also really lucky that my cousins were down the road, Mr. George over here, and his twin brother Liam, their older sister Charlotte, and their two loving parents. And they would have me over like every second week, because where I was staying, there wasn't really many people my age there. So sometimes it was a little bit of a mental strain for me, but when I got to spend time with George and them, like it was just really great, because then I just got to unravel myself and just have a good time. And then I got stranded in the UK due to the pandemic, and I couldn't come back, couldn't see my family or anything. So around about October, a week before George left, I came back to SA. Luckily, I got the flight, and I didn't really know what I was gonna do. And there was a cafe down the road from my house, and they were looking for people to help them with work and help market their work and their food and so on and so forth. And I was like, I'm not doing much. Let me just go try and see if I can get the job. Got the job, and then I've just been getting clients ever since then. And then I started photography around about December, and that's been going really, really well for me. Um, so yeah, and that's how I got into the social media game, mainly because I had nothing else to do, and there was a place looking for a person to do marketing for them. And it was around about a few months ago, George and I were actually having a random discussion about what he was going to go do. And because George had studied a game ranging course, and my photography is wildlife photography, we thought of the idea that when he is game ranging, I can go with him, and I will do the photography, and he will be doing the explanations and all of that fun stuff. So we were already like planning this in our heads long before um, everything just started happening.
Yeah, so
And
we were kind of like planning no matter what in the future, there's a possibility we might be working together
yeah,
because of
our
the
interest,
way you're working at the moment, yeah, and the way um
you
the
were,
work that I'm interested in,
yeah,
yeah, is heading. So that's why we decided to join up now and
yeah,
start working together now. So yeah.
yeah, because we thought, if we're going to be working in the future, why not start now? Because you can always say to yourself, no, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. But if you just tell yourself that, like, you're never going to do it, you're going to actually have to put pen to paper and actually start doing it. You can't just remind yourself and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then it gets to like 11 or 12 o'clock at night, and you're like, nah, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes, and yesterday never returns. That's why you got to live in the now. If you want to start a podcast, if you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to do whatever you want, stop saying, no, I think I'm going to do it, or I'm going to do it. Start that. Just go
Yeah,
and
because
do it.
you know what, yeah?
Yeah.
I think back to when I was at like school and that I was not a very confident guy. It might
Yeah.
have come across like I was, but I
Yeah.
would never have thought just to speak to random people openly like this. I wouldn't been able to
Yeah.
do it. But through the way I've gone off and met different people and socialized with many different people, I've just come to realize that everyone is the same. And there's
Yeah.
no need for you to feel ashamed or be embarrassed about doing anything. You know, this is your life, and no matter what, you're gonna get judged. You're
Yeah.
gonna get judged. It's just factual. And
Exactly.
the people that are able to shield it off, they're gonna go places, and the people that take it to heart, they're not gonna go anywhere. So I mean, this is the way I have chosen and Dale has chosen to try get somewhere.
Yeah.
And it might work, it might not work, but we're giving it our best shot,
Yeah.
and that's
We
it.
we're not. First of all, we're not like doing this uh for like any attention or anything. We're doing this as uh it's an outlet.
We think, yeah, yeah, and we think that people out there might enjoy listening to the
Yeah.
way we speak and talk and what we what we talk about. It was like the other day, me and Dale was saying, "Wow." Before we started doing a podcast, this is like how we came to terms. Like maybe we should start a podcast.
Yeah.
Was we were talking, we're like, "Yo, I think people might love listening to our conversations
Yeah.
because we have like we might have some the weirdest conversations, we have some funny
Yeah.
conversations, we might have some, yeah, I don't even know, man. We speak a lot of yeah, it's
We
yeah,
we we just we doing this, one, because we want to do this. Two, we doing it for the people who are shy and can't do this. And three, we just doing this for fun, man. And if it takes us places, it's gonna take us places. If it doesn't, like we still gonna be doing it. Because there are always gonna be people out there who just need that little bit of inspiration, or just want to hear someone else speaking about certain issues that they kind of feeling, but they shy to talk about. And that's why like we created this platform just to share our stories. And if anyone can relate to them, they can DM us and tell us about their stories, and we'll we'll talk to them and just share our stories with them so we can connect.
yeah, of course, man. But I think we've given everyone out there a bit about us.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's anything else you really want to talk about before we
Well,
end the podcast, because
there's one thing that I do want to talk about, right? And it's just to add light on this whole like mellow type vibe, right? When I was in the UK, uh, and times were tough, do you know who was always there for me? My family, right? And to this day, whoever I meet, I always share a story about something that I've done with my family last year. The one that mainly comes to mind is my birthday. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
cool.
but we're not gonna get into that on this podcast. But
No. I think Dale,
yeah,
we should get to the story because
you want to
we've
tell the
got many
story?
more, and there's just a funny story, man.
Okay. Well, the story goes that in my mind, in George's mind, it might be something different, but at the end of the day,
No, like
it's just a funny story.
give give like a back, like what was like, how did we come together this day, and how
Yeah.
it happened. Obviously, me and you weren't really there, but
Yeah.
yeah, you carry on. You carry on with the story. You tell it how you want to tell it.
Okay, so like I said earlier on, I was in the UK. I was staying with my uncle and aunt, doing work, and my birthday was coming up, and it was my first birthday that I wasn't spending with my parents or my brother, and like I was kind of down and out about that. And even though my uncle and aunt did their best to make it as good as possible, uh, it was also my uncle's birthday because we share a birthday, and I was like, I want him to spend time with his family and let him just celebrate his birthday how he celebrates it. And George and Liam and my whole other family, they they were like, "We're coming to pick you up, and we're going to throw a party for you." And I rocked up, and my cousin Charlotte made a Guinness chocolate cake for me, and I got given a pack of beers. And they said to me, tonight we're gonna be playing vodka pong. And I was keen, I was ready. We started drinking like as I arrived there. Am I correct, George? We started drinking then.
Yeah, we opened up I think we opened some of your beers you got for your
Uh,
birthday.
yeah, we opened up two at the time, and then you had a box of Guinness, and then you had, I think it was a 24 pack of Fosters or 12 pack of Fosters or something.
Oh yeah, we had the Fosters. Yeah, we always have
Okay.
a 24 pack of Fosters in this house. So yeah.
Yeah. So we started drinking, and we were just having a really, really good time. And then it came down to playing vodka pong. And we just started playing the Val.
And by the way, this our my parents were playing with us for like the beginning of it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
weren't they? They played like a bit of it.
They came in for like two rounds, and then your dad came in like halfway through, and then I was like, "Nah, it's my birthday, come." And we took 3 shots with your dad.
Yeah, so I they were there, and then around I think midnight, it was just us, and we were starting to finish off the vodka. Like the vodka was almost done, I think, by
Yeah.
this point. Was it? It
And
was like, yeah, it was.
it was 2/3 of the way done, but the entire time we were drinking beers. And
Yeah, I mean, Liam and Charlotte kind of made the drink kind of weak.
yeah, so we all of us had a beer with us, and when we finished the beer, we cracked the new one open, and we finished a 24 pack that night on. And the like we could see that Charlotte and Liam were getting a little bit dazed. Like I went, like I was getting a bit dazed. I'm pretty sure George was. And
Yeah.
next
Do
thing I
you
know,
wanna tell them about the ping pong ball?
yeah. So the next thing I know, Liam throws the ball, and it bounces off the table, and it lands by the fireplace. And I go down way too quickly. And as I go to pick up the ball, I come back up, and I felt like I was in a different galaxy. I look at George, I'm like,
What
"No."
we didn't tell Dale is I spiked his drink with acid.
Oh, that's why, you naughty little bugger.
I always kept it a secret to this day, Dale.
You cheeky. I knew it tasted different. I knew it, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I was like, geez, I think somebody might have like gobbed in it or something, but nah, it's acid. Nah.
But then Liam
Yeah,
said before we started playing beer pong, vodka pong, whatever it was, there was
yeah,
lots of drinks on the
we're
table.
gonna have a fire afterwards.
Liam was like, yeah, we're gonna have a little braai outside fire in the braai. So a braai is like a barbecue for the guys that aren't living in South Africa.
Yeah.
And so yeah, carry on with the story.
Yeah, so a few days before, it had been pouring with rain, and all the wood was wet. It was sopping wet. So Liam went out and he was busy scavenging for dry wood. He couldn't find dry wood.
E.g., he was very tipsy.
Yep. So he came back inside, he grabbed some toilet paper, and then he threw it into the braai and tried to start it. It didn't start. Then he grabbed some printing paper, crumpled it up, threw it in, didn't start. So George and I go back into the dining room and we help Charlotte clean up all of the mess that was there. And next thing I know, Liam runs up to me and is like, Dale, can you help me? The grass is on fire. I don't know what to do.
Yo, you know what I saw? I was sitting in the lounge. I think I was sitting in the lounge trying to open one of your beers. Or we had already opened one of your beers. And then all I see is like orange light like everywhere at the bottom of the gar. I'm like, what the I'm way too like tipsy to be doing anything. And I just see my dad running out. He's like, get a damp cloth, get water, get da, da, da. So I ran out and I just see Liam like running to me and they're like, get water. And then I get a wet cloth. Charlotte gets a wet cloth, and then I start hitting it like for like, I don't know, for like 2 minutes. And then I go and I do. And then I go do pull-ups. For some reason, I was doing pull-ups on the pull-up bar. Dale, I just see Dale kicking the grass.
I thought it was dirt. I thought it was dirt because when I ran out, I was out because Liam came in running and looking for I don't know what he was looking for. I think he was either looking for the hose or he was looking for the fire extinguisher. But I ran out, and the way it was situated, I thought the braai was on top of the gravel. I didn't know it was on top of the grass. So I'm busy kicking the flames while thinking it's gravel, and I'm busy spreading this fire. And I look down, and all I see is this petrol canister lying on the floor, just oozing out. And I'm like, oh my lord, like this shit is gonna catch on fire. Next thing I know, the hedge is on fire, flames are everywhere. I'm like,
hedge is on fire, man. And then what scared me during that moment was when my dad said, "Call the fire brigade."
Call the fire department. Fuck.
We're done.
When that happened, I just looked at my aunt and I was like, this is all my fault. And then George comes back after doing his 50 or 60 pull-ups. Liam's still running with the hose. He looked like he was one of the hobbits from Lord of the Rings. And he's like, the orcs are coming. My uncle's running. Socks on.
Liam ran away, man. As soon as the fire was done, I'm like, where's Liam? Dale's busy in the garden. Then I'm like, yo, where's Liam? So I know when Liam gets touched, like when he gets touchy, he kind of goes away and I don't know, he
takes time to breathe. He takes time to breathe.
Yeah, so we all went looking for Liam and we find him in this shed. And he's just got his hands on his head. He's like,
he was chewing his cap. He was chewing the rim of his cap. And we like, Liam, bro, don't do that. And he just looks at us, he's like, it's all my fault, guys. It's all my fault. I'm like, nah, bro, it's all my fault.
We got the fire out at the end of the day with wet towels, and that fire extinguisher did not do nothing, man. It didn't do anything. But it took us like 10 minutes to get this fire out.
But just bear in mind the flames were about 10 or 11 feet high, and
tall, man.
And
it caught the whole of the back hedge was caught on fire.
I'm so surprised that the shed didn't catch on fire because the shed was right next to it.
We're very lucky. We're lucky, but and then I just see after we got Liam, and I see Dale sit against the wall, and Liam sits against the wall, and Dale's like talking to Liam. Oh, it's my fault. Liam's like talking his rubbish. I'm just like, boys, come, let's just go get a few drinks, man.
Yeah, and we go inside and we crack open another beer of mine, and we just sitting there, we passing the beer around, Next thing we know, my aunt runs downstairs and she is hosing herself. I thought that we were gonna be in trouble, man. So I'm like, I'm prepared for this. So I'm just ready to say, yeah, it's all my fault, guys. Because I've been saying that for the last hour. I'm just like, yeah, guys, it's all my fault. No, she comes down and says, yeah, somebody puked in the sink, and I'm pretty sure I know who did it, but uh, they puked in the sink. And can they please come
It's-
clean
it-
up?
I know the person is gonna
Yeah.
listen to this.
We're not going to mention
So
anyone's name because there was,
we know it was you. We know it was you.
yeah, and we know who the person was. Uh, they were there were 6 people in the house, and all that I can say is that it wasn't George and it wasn't myself. It was one of the family members, and it was the funniest thing ever just to see my aunt hosing herself and just tell us that somebody puked upstairs in their bathroom sink and didn't even clean it up. They just looked at it and
That's
walked
kind of
out.
random. But on that note, we have so many drinking stories as well that we can talk to you guys on this podcast. We have so many
Yeah.
good funny ones. I think Dale has had the worst hangover of his life at this
Oh,
house.
jeez,
That he
man.
can get to tell you in another podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's been a good podcast because we
Yeah.
kind of got to tell you
About
a
ourselves.
bit about ourselves and one of the family incidents that's happened with us. So yeah,
one
I've
of
enjoyed this
many.
podcast.
One of many.
One of many.
Yeah, but on that note, don't know if George does or doesn't have a motivational quote. If he does, George, the
Let
floor is
me
yours if you
check
do have one.
in my book quickly. The motivational quote of the night is to everyone out there: there are no right choices in life. You will never know whether it's wrong or right. So just go with your heart, and I'm sure you will choose the right one.
Wow. Wow. I should listen to that quote a lot more, eh? If I'm being honest.
I think you've gone with your heart, Dale, before, and it got broken.
George, why would you have to remind me of that? But on that note, all you guys have a blessed one, and we will catch you on
Have a
Monday.
blessed night, brother.